Alright, so we're going to set up MakeyMakey, and for those of you who don't know what that is, this is the MakeyMakey board. It's a fun way of getting your students engaged with circuitry and computer systems and coding. What we have here, you order from MakeyMakey.com, you can see right there. And this is the main board that it comes with. So here's this, and there's a few other components as well that you're going to need. You're going to get several wires, 7 in particular. Color coding is good because it helps you to keep track of what it is you're using it to connect to. It also comes with a USB cord. You're going to use this and plug it into the actual computer over here, which we're going to use later. And then you're going to need 6 things that can conduct electricity. In this case, we'll be using all of the keys that I own. So now we're just going to set this up, and I'll walk you through how we do it along the way. First thing we're going to want to do is plug in the USB cord to the actual MakeyMakey. So if I flip it over here, you can see this little gold spot down here. That's where you're going to plug it into. So you take the micro USB end, put it in, take the other end, plug it into the laptop. Laptop will make noise, and the MakeyMakey will actually light up all over the place. So now that we have that, what we want to do is we're going to connect some of those wires that I had before to here, and then we're going to connect them to our conductive materials. And what it's going to do is it's going to act like its own version of the keyboard. So what we have here are the arrows up, down, left, and right. We have a space bar, and then we have a mouse click. On this bottom part here is the grounding. So this needs to be connected to something that's connected to Earth, so usually yourself. So we're going to go ahead and do that part first. So take the alligator clip, and you put them in the 2 holes right there. So that's connected. Now from there, when I want to use it, I'll make sure that I'm always holding this other side. Now I'm going to be someone who can interact with the stuff that's on here. So before we do anything, let's connect the rest of these, and I'm going to color coordinate them. Alright, so now we have everything connected, and again, it's really important that you have this ground on, because if you don't have this ground on and you're not connected, then you can't interact with the MakeyMakey itself. So now for everything except for this red one, all the other colored ones, I'm going to start connecting them to our conductive materials. Now again, it's got to be something conductive. So you'll notice on this key here, it's got a plastic casing. This plastic casing won't work if I connect this alligator wire here, and then I try to touch it on here, it won't work. But if I do try to touch it on the metal part, it will. So that's something you got to keep in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and connect those, and then start lining these keys up on the table. All right, so now I have all the keys connected here, and very important, like I said, this is the ground wire. I need to make sure I'm always holding this. So if I touch this key here, nothing happens. But if I hold the ground to me, and then I use this, I have this connected to a program on Scratch from MIT online, which I'll show you in a second. So if I don't have it, it doesn't work. If I do connect, it does work. So these keys now are acting like buttons on a keypad. For some reason this one doesn't want to work. Oh, that's because it's a click button. So this one doesn't actually have any function at the moment. That's all right. I'm going to move us over. And so what we have here is we have a virtual drum set. And whenever I press a certain key, I have to be connected. It plays different things. And that's how you use MakeyMakey. This program, Scratch, you can find online. It's scratch.mit.edu. And if you search MakeyMakey up here in the top bar, it'll come up with a list of pre-made programs already that you can utilize.
Music is far from the only thing that we can do with MakeyMakey. What we've done here is create a little bit of an exit slip for kids to use at the end of class. So let's say we've taught a new concept that day, and we want to know how the class as a whole feels about that concept. What we could do is ask them, when they're leaving the room, to rate their understanding of that concept. So, if they feel a 1, as in they feel that they're not confident at all, they would tap the key that corresponds to 1. If they feel super confident, they definitely can do it, they could tap the 6. And that would show us how the class as a whole feels about this particular concept. So let's say they tap a 4. What we would see is this. They would hear a nice little sound, and the 4 goes up by 1. Similarly, we can get some other votes in there. There's a 2, 5. So you can see, eventually, we get a lot of different votes. The nice thing about this is it's completely anonymous. You don't need to know who voted a 1, you just need to know that 7 people voted a 1. And you can use that to decide where you want to go next in your class.